Okay, I'm gonna lower my seat a little bit.
Yeah, just sort my mic. Just gonna move my mic.
Bloody hell! Bloody hell!
Bloody hell!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to. We've been doing it for 10, 20, 30 years. How old would I be if I'm 30 years later? I'll be. Oh my lord! I'll be 65.
Mate,
isn't that mad?
That's crazy.
Anyway,
it's been your birthday recently, no?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
End of this month.
I'm
going to be a big 3-5. Mr. 3, you know, Pitbull.
Yeah.
Every time he like introduces a new song, he goes, Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide. Well, I'll be Mr. 35.
Mr. 35,
Mr.
yeah.
Very local.
Extremely local.
Yeah.
I'm inside your house.
Anyway, what an intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chatting Pitch. My name is Leslie, and my co-host here is none other than...
Matthew D. Smith. Thank you for rejoining us. Don't know why I stretched that out. But
Fantastic.
Yeah, Leslie's birthday's coming up. Send him presents, won't you? Because he's a celebrity.
Woo, woo, woo. Anyway, we watched a movie at different times in different places, but not of this. Yeah, but it's the same movie. Would you
we always nail these cold openings, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to tell the audience what we watched?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm still trying to sort out my mic. My mic. That's the voice of my microphone as I move it. Whoa! Don't move it too far. My cable's very short.
That's the third co-host that.
We've got the
third co-host.
We've got the awful troll under the bridge who just doesn't like anything.
Yeah.
Incredibly racist, equally sexist. Who's the other one again? Oh, the old lady?
Could be the old lady. I thought it was the inverted troll, the other one who's like the opposite troll, who has nothing but nice things to say. Yeah. Or
and another thing right with your movie, darlings. I just loved it.
You haven't even. It's not even out yet.
I know, but I love it anyway.
Is this based on somebody you know, or is this like a
sort of like half the guy who plays Pinky from Pinky and the Brain?
I love it.
Right. And then what's the other guy? The Brain. Orson Welles. What's his voice like? Go on, you can do it.
We do every night. I can't do the Brain. But same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Time to take over the world. No, that's not it. That's if they fused. That's if Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah. Or if Goofy replaced the Brain.
Sure.
Anyway, what movie did we see?
Yeah, we watched. I was going to let you do it, but then your mic.
Let's do it at the same time. 1,
okay, 3.
2.
Oh, what?
Oh no! Oh my goodness! I'm counting up.
I'll say it backwards and you say forwards.
2,
3,
1,
2,
3.
1.
What did we see again?
Do a Folie. Recoge.
And that's Leslie's way of saying we saw Joker, Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
Or as Danny Dyer said in the very funny promo just before the movie, a Folie à Dicks. We were just talking before we were recording, weren't we, about Daniel Dyer.
Was he trying to pronounce do, or was he just like...
he's
fully ducks.
He's fully aware of what he's doing.
He's fully there, all right.
They put him in Joker makeup for the final shot in the cinema.
If anyone doesn't know who Danny Dyer is, care to explain who he is? He's UK's number one geezer, isn't he?
Yeah. Technically speaking, I think he's related to the royal family in some far-off way.
Is he?
He's one of those where he's like 38th in line to the throne or something crazy like that. But he's a Cockney geezer.
Full name, Sir Danny Dyer.
So Cecil Ward, Danny Dyer. He's a Cockney geezer. They do
the whole sword thing on his shoulders, like, be careful, mate. You're gonna nick my head off,
and then you'll be nicked. We'll both be nicked.
What's he been in? He's been in
Deep Barney.
what's his most well known? Wasn't it Human Traffic or something like that?
I think so. He was in Severance as well, which I quite liked. I quite enjoyed.
Not too bad. Yeah, I quite liked that one.
I think it was Severance, the one where they have the the going away day, the office, whatever it's called.
And they
Where
into
you go
it's
off and you try and become better friends with people around.
It's basically the Hills of Eyes, but
team building.
Cockneys, right?
Yeah. In a forest as opposed to a desert or wherever Hills of Eyes is set. Yeah. The hills, presumably.
And apparently he did an introduction to Joker too for some reason.
Yeah, and a sort of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but
Danny Dyer is Danny Dyer.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, but you didn't get that in yours.
No, I didn't get. I went to
in the same way that Megalopolis doesn't always have a member of staff talking to the screen. Not every screening of Joker, Folie, Deux will get an appearance by Danny Dyer.
So you're telling me that halfway through, Danny Dyer asked a question to Joaquin
the Joker.
Yeah. Why are you in? What did you do to get in? Huh? What's your...
I think what you need is a right Cockney knees up. That'll put you right.
I wish I knew more Cockney. You know way more than I do because everyone knows.
Yeah, I know like 2 words.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, Cockney rhyming slang, the sort of secret language. The theory goes that it was developed by people in parts of London to try and hide what they were doing from the police. So if the police were listening in, you'd be talking in rhyming slang and the police wouldn't understand what you were talking about. And
you learned that from Australia, right? Or no, you came from Australia, which everyone believes you were from. And then you had to like blend in, and the only way you could was to learn your apples and pears.
Yeah, out with the Australian rhyming slang, which is all about like Fosters and bad moustaches, and Cockney rhyming slang, which is all about jelly deals and doing over people in top hats.
Yeah, give me the ones that you know.
Any other stereotypes you'd like me to do, or I'll do the accent. That'll get us noticed.
Speaking of stereotypes, here's the jingle.
Gets better every time.
Yeah. Anyway, we both watched Joker 2, Electric Boogaloo, Electric Folie Deux.
Very good.
So, would you like to tell me what you thought of it? Or shall we talk about the story? Let's talk about the story a little bit. Yeah, so this is a follow-up to the first Joker, which came out, I think, about like 4 years ago now? 5 years ago, maybe? Was it 2019? I think it was 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
It was before. It was pre-COVID, I remember.
Yeah,
and it's about the aftermath of a couple of years later in the timeline of what happened from the first movie.
I guess fairly recent. Yeah, he's in Arkham. He's doing his time. He's emptying his massive piss bucket. Did you notice that?
I did.
When he was emptying out that urine, I thought, man, that's got to be his day's collection, because that is just insane.
My first thought, right, and it took me a second, but like my first thought was when there's a scene where I don't think this is a spoiler. It's probably pretty clear in the trailers as well. Joker
spoiler alert, he's got a big piss bucket.
Well, Joker is now, I guess Arthur Fleck in this instance, is in prison from the crimes that he committed from the first movie.
Well, he's in Arkham. The debate is whether he should be in prison or not. Yeah.
Or a better medical facility or something like that. But he is in he's in a cell, and then he, at one point, the thing that we were mentioning was he was leaving the cell with all the other inmates, and they were all holding buckets, right? And my first thought was, he's going cooking. He's doing cooking class or something. He's going
to go and make cider with that bucket full of apples.
Like, they're going to go collect fruit from the nearby
from the Arkham orchard.
Yeah. So, and then suddenly I realized, no, wait, that's piss.
That's not cider.
That was my brain. No, so yeah, going back to the story, he's in Arkham Asylum, and I think the movie is kind of like split into 2 parts. I feel like the first part is very much a prison movie, and then the second part, which personally, I wasn't a big fan of the second part.
Okay.
It turns into a courtroom drama, doesn't it?
Sort of, yeah.
And it's all about. It's from what I gathered, it's all about whether or not Arthur Fleck / Joker are two separate entities, and whether or not he did the crimes, or if it was his
Other self.
other self is the which for some reason was animated at the beginning, and
Yes, I liked that.
I don't really understand why that was there. You liked it?
I liked it. It was a bit all over the place in a good way.
It was unconventional, but like I thought maybe. I guess it was kind of like foreshadowing everything from the movie, like seeing him dancing with a shadow and all that.
And the fact that he's in that constant jumping into that not hallucinations, but like his fantasies.
Right. Which isn't sorry. So yeah, I guess there's three parts of the movie where it's a prison movie, it's a courtroom drama, but it's also a musical.
Joker with jazz hands.
Which when I listened to a few reviews, and some people are saying how this is almost like a response to the first movie, in where everybody was comparing it to Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver or King of Comedy, saying, "Oh, you just lifted the same narrative and just like changed the characters and did your own thing, blah blah blah." And then Todd Phillips decided to do something that nobody could ever copy. It's courtroom prison musical / animation, / comic book movie in a way, but not really.
No, I thought it was actually trying to avoid any comic booky stuff. It was very much okay. You've got
the characters and you've got the names.
We've got Joker, and he's got to be in the clown makeup, but he's he's not got a buzzer that blows you up. He's not got Batman doesn't show up, and
which I thought at one point Batman was going to show up, but he didn't.
Okay.
But I'll talk about that in spoilers.
We'll talk about, it might be the same one that I thought, like, they're not going to, are they? Yeah. I'm very thankful they didn't.
But that's more or less the story. Maybe I'll go first.
Sure.
And I'll tell you how I felt. So I thought the movie was, in my opinion, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was groundbreaking. I think I actually preferred parts of the first one to the second one. I know that you have strong opinions of the first one. We spoke about it before. I don't know. I felt like when I watched the first one, I had, especially the last half an hour or so, I had more of an adrenaline rush watching that compared to this one, where I actually found myself getting a bit bored after a while. Like I said, the first half I actually much preferred, like with the whole prison sequence of the movie. But then when it devolved into the courtroom drama, there were aspects of it that I enjoyed, but after a while it felt quite tiresome for me, because I guess that wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest, but I also I admire what they were trying to do with the musical numbers, but I also didn't feel like it worked as much as it should have. As a fan of music in general, I didn't really find the musical numbers to be that engaging. Visually, it was quite striking, but the musical numbers didn't feel like it really added much to it for me. Having said that, the movie was fine. Like, it wasn't like as incoherent as Megalopolis. Like, the story made sense. There was a clear beginning to end, and everything kind of tied itself together in some ways. Yeah, I couldn't help but feel like this whole movie was like a response to the first one, subverting their expectations of what people liked from the first one.
Yeah, I think we probably fall in a very similar place in our opinion of it.
But let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think?
Yeah, in terms of I'll bring up something that you said. You talked about the musical numbers. I think I agree with you. I never, apart from maybe the sequence where it's him and Lee Quinzel hosting their own sort of 70s style variety show.
Oh, Joker and Harley.
Yeah, that sequence I enjoyed, and I liked that they came back to it later.
They did.
The other musical numbers, not as much. I think it was more that there was an inevitability to it. There was sort of, okay, it's been 10 minutes, let's have another song. It was a bit like,
Yeah.
I could almost like hear the wheels turning. You could almost hear the machinery working. Okay, we've had this happen, and then we've had one of these, so now we have to have one of these, and then we start the cycle again.
I can smell a musical number happening soon.
Yeah, and there's a bit in the film. It's not really a spoiler. There's a bit where Arthur Fleck covers Lee Quinzel's mouth because she's starting to sing, and he's like begging her to stop singing. And I thought at that point, probably not intentionally, but I was sharing the same feelings of, okay, I'm not against musicals.
This might be a mild spoiler, but at one point he's just like, no, stop singing. I don't want to sing anymore. Yeah.
He's almost, I don't want to be in this fantasy anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be moving on from that.
I did write down a list of things.
Okay.
But
milk.
No, you know what? I'll talk about that in milk.
Bread.
Baking powder.
Semi-skimmed bread. Half a loaf of milk.
Celery, ?
Is it actual food? ? I believe it's a building material. I don't know about you.
A soup, drink, or a solid.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? A little bit of both.
I think if you can't eat it with a fork, then it's very difficult to...
You absolutely can eat soup with a fork, but it will just take you hours.
Yeah, I guess, technically.
Believe you me, I've tried. No, I've written down a list of pros of the movie and cons of the movie, but I think maybe that might get into a bit more spoilery, so I'll leave that until a little bit later. What's your overall verdict?
Well, I'm wondering now if maybe the big buckets they had at the start of the film weren't filled with urine; they were filled with soup. But they were like,
potentially, yeah.
You don't get a spoon.
Yeah.
You only get a fork, and that's what drives them mad.
That was my first instinct. I was like, oh, they're going to the soup kitchen. They're gonna go get themselves some minestrone.
Yeah. I'll have split pea, please. You know we only do minestrone here in Arkham.
We're fresh out. Today's cream of corn.
Is it like Killer Croc serving it up as well?
Yes. With his Crocs on. So let's...
What did I think of it? I appreciated that they were trying something different, both with the genre.
Did you love it or did you hate it or did you think it was fine?
What they did with
just the movie as a whole.
What they did, the finished product, I thought, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
Far from the worst Joker. We all know who that is, don't we? But it was far from the best.
Yeah.
I liked that they tried something different.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that they tried something different in terms of the dynamics of the characters. I mean, how many different versions of Harley Quinn and Joker have there been?
Yeah.
But this one, they decided to flip the dynamics and have almost Harley Quinn be the one in charge almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was... Well, sorry. That might be spoilers now. I'll get back... No. I might cut that bit out.
She was
She was getting manicures.
She was manscaping. Yeah. She was picking up minestrone for him.
Yes, that's right.
She was the one supplying minestrone from the outside. It wasn't Killer Croc at all.
I feel like this could be the pitch. This is the pitch part of the story, isn't it?
Is that steaming hot urine or steaming hot minestrone?
Folie soup. So I'm going to give you my rating. My rating is probably going to be like a chatting pea, I reckon. I definitely think, last week we did Megalopolis, and I gave that a chatting pea as well. And it was a movie that I said I loved it and hated it at the same time. But for this one, I felt like there were definitely elements that really had me engaged, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty damn good. But then I just don't think there was enough of that to have me say it's any higher than the rating that I've given. So that's what I would say. What about you?
I think I'd go slightly lower. I think I'm going to give it a chatin.
Chatin. Oh, okay.
Chatin. For me, it was just potential for a really great movie. And I just feel like the ball was dropped. A fair number of times, similar to you, that there were long stretches where I thought this is getting a little boring now. I'm aware that I'm sitting here being bored, but at the same time, then you'd have stretches where it was okay. I'm really getting into this.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably different to your review, there were bits that, I did really love, but then other bits where I didn't. There weren't any bits in Folie Deux where I thought I hate this, but there were just long stretches where I thought, okay, not even get a move on with plot, but can we just try something else, please? I felt really intrigued by Brendan Gleeson's character.
Yes.
I thought he was the most interesting character.
That was what I was going to talk about in the spoilers. That's
maybe
what I was
spoilers.
gonna
Yeah.
talk about. Yeah. So in my notes, I've got it written down as some of my pros were some of the performances. Like, obviously, I think Joaquin Phoenix did, a good job with what he was given. And then on the second part of that list was Brendan Gleeson. And I think he was probably one of the standouts.
Yeah.
Even though he was very much a side character. He really had me engaged in the movie, and he did a good job. What did you like about Brendan?
What do I like about Brendan? I like his eyes.
Movies like In Bruges and Banshees of Inisherin.
Inisherin, yeah.
He's great in those both movies, and I'd say I'm a fan of his. Yeah, I was surprised to see him in this movie because I didn't see him. Like, I didn't know he was in it.
Okay.
And then when he popped up, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
He's playing the guard again. The movie The Guard.
I haven't actually seen The Guard.
Neither have I.
No?
I just know that he is in the movie called The Guard with Don Cheadle.
Yes.
And I heard it's quite good. I also...
yeah.
Sorry, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I liked the material that he was given, but obviously it wasn't his movie. It wasn't his character's movie. I just feel like there's a really interesting story there and a lot of stuff that they deliberately didn't explore with his character.
Yeah.
Where they had the bit where he's allowed into the other part of Arkham, which is a bit nicer and a bit, less security, less, here's your bucket of piss, mate. Now
you get to sing songs and watch movies.
More, okay, let's do a choir. And and there's a bit where he gets Arthur Fleck in. And all the other guards are like, why are you doing this? And then Brendan Gleeson's character, Jackie, says, oh, well, I get to go with you. And everyone's like, oh, okay, that's why. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here with old Jackie boy? And the fact that he wasn't, they could have made him just an out and out. They could have made him the other way, just very, very extremely sympathetic. But there's this great gray area. There's a great moment where he tries to justify what he does to Arthur Fleck.
Yeah.
And even though I don't know about everyone else, but I was just like, no, you can't justify the horrible things you're doing. Like, you can justify them to yourself, fine, sure. But I just thought there's a really morally complex character here, but we're not going to get the time to explore it.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that, and it's like there was this one bit that kind of like got me kind of almost there was a reaction within me where I was like, oh, you've been portraying yourself to be this like jolly guy in some sense, even though you can be a bit of a as a security guard, but he was I think Arthur Fleck told him a joke. He was like, oh, you've still got it in you, gave him a cigarette, and then he just goes, thanks, pal. Pats him on the back. Yeah. And then Brendan Gleeson just punches him in the head.
Oh man, he gives him like a massive cut. It's like a cuff around the head that a bear would give you.
It was so hard, and it made my head hurt. I also thought another character, there was a portion during the courtroom, as much as I felt like the courtroom part was a bit of a slog to get through, there was one particular scene which I did enjoy, and that was Mr. Puddles.
Okay.
That part of him being reintroduced from, because that was a very traumatic experience for him in the first movie, and then bringing him in and just seeing how torn he was because he was so conflicted that he was the only one who didn't make fun of him, but he also is a murderer.
Yeah. And that he was the cause of this horrible anxiety that this character now
and he's
feels.
never been the same again. I thought that was like quite an engaging scene.
And the fact that Arthur Fleck had no idea how to react.
Yeah.
Because it was just total, this is not going how I thought it would. I loved the little notepad that was just full of, well, not even full of, but it just had 2 or 3 like really bad puns about his height.
Yeah. It's just,
It was just a man of your stature and all these other silly little.
I've heard some
gags that-
people say like his, when he fires his representative or his lawyer,
Yeah.
and then he starts representing himself,
Mm.
and then there are some people who are comparing his accent to Foghorn Leghorn from was it Looney Tunes?
I thought of the weird chicken alien from Futurama, but yeah,
Well,
definitely
more or less
Foghorn.
the same. They're both chickens, aren't they? Big chickens.
Yeah, but the one from Futurama is a lawyer.
Do you think that has something to do with the fact that it's a Warner Brothers property and it's Looney Tunes?
I just think it was something that they threw in.
Okay.
And they thought, okay, this is his idea of what a lawyer is.
Yeah.
It's really clear that this is not a Joker who is a criminal mastermind.
No.
And that's been the whole thing since the first Joker. The whole thing is that Arthur Fleck needs help.
Yeah.
But everyone most characters either despise him or just fall in love with him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And just try and be him.
Yeah.
And I think if he was a bit more intelligent, he would be able to verbalize the fact that, like, no, I don't need this. I really don't need this.
Right.
So I think what happens later on in Folie Deux is probably quite natural, even though I didn't expect it. Again, getting towards spoiler territory here, but
we're already far into spoilers now.
Okay,
that's fine.
Oh, I will say they couldn't help themselves with Harvey Dent, though, could they?
No, there was a moment where so
definite spoiler territory here.
Big spoiler alert. Yeah. For some reason, a big bomb goes off during the most climactic moment.
I say, boy. A massive explosion.
What do they say? There's a term
car
for that.
bomb.
No, well, yeah, it's a car bomb, but there's a term for that as a narrative device. Was it a Deus Ex Machina or something like that? Where it's like a very convenient plot point that happens to get somebody out of a situation.
I think it's very similar to. There's an author called Raymond Chandler who said something like, if you don't know where to go with your story, just have two guys walk into the room with guns. And it was sort of similar, that it was almost like the courtroom scenes, we don't really know what we're going to do with this, so we'll just have a massive explosion in the wall.
Right.
But then I really liked, because I thought, oh my goodness, this feels like a long movie, and now there's going to be a whole third bit where he's going to turn into Joker. And I like the fact that they really didn't.
It didn't do that.
Fleck almost completely rejects that premise. Yeah. He gets dragged along and then he escapes from that car. It's not very subtle that the other guy dressed in a red suit with clown makeup on.
At that point, I thought, oh, this must be in his head. Because for a second, I thought that's Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker makeup.
It's pretty good double, isn't it?
They're mirroring the animated section at the beginning, whereas the two Jokers like face to face. And I thought that's what they were doing. And then I soon realized, oh no, that's just.
I guess they kind of did, though.
Yeah. I guess metaphorically, yeah.
But yeah, there's a bit where the courtroom's just been blown to pieces, and then it sort of pans past all of the law team, and I thought, okay, so they're not going to do that. They're not going to show Harvey Dent with his face all. I thought, okay, that's fine, because that's what every movie with Harvey Dent does. Look, we get it. He's Two-Face now.
He's Two-Face, yeah.
And so far in Folie Deux, I've enjoyed the fact that they've tried to do something different. I'm not saying you have to lean away from the comic book trappings, but sure, if you want to, then yeah, make it your thing. And then it was almost like the camera just took a cheeky look, and there he was with a few obligatory like cuts on his face,
little marks on one side of his face, yeah.
And the guy in the background made of clay. Where's Batman?
Well, there's a few of those nods throughout the movie, because you can't really do a Joker movie like especially as big of an intellectual property as that. Like for instance, Harley Quinn just coming into the final courtroom scene dressed as
Harley Quinn,
like their version of Harley Quinn.
And when the law team, the people assisting Harvey Dent, one of them stands up and goes, "Riddle me this, Your Honor." Objection, but I won't tell you why.
And then if you look a little bit further in the back, you'll see like what looks like like a water cooler, but he just steps up and he says, "It's a freeze coming," and then he freezes the whole courtroom. and everyone's like, "Bam!" And the rest of the movie is just them thawing for like 2 hours.
And when they go to pick their apples for the cider,
Yeah.
you've got that's poison ivy. I'm not even doing anything with it. I'm just giving you the ingredients. Who's another character? We'll just say their name.
Yeah.
Calendar Man. There you go.
The penguin.
Yeah.
What others are there? There are more. Anyway, we'll get too sidetracked.
He starts doing Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say, I went to pick up a penguin, and then he winks at the camera.
Hey, one thing that I wanted to mention that I thought was very blatantly obvious, but probably not to the general public. But did you notice that the judge looked strikingly similar to Martin Scorsese?
Yeah. As soon as he walked in, I was like, all you need is the eyebrows.
Right, yeah. The thick framed glasses.
And the fact that he was the judge as well.
Yeah.
So what is Todd Phillips saying there, you know?
I mean, everyone compared the first movie to Taxi Driver, so there's got to be something there. Or is it just an Easter egg? He was like, you know what?
We'll just have him look like Martin Scorsese, and we're not trying to say anything with it. We'll just put him in there.
I mean, some of the stuff that he does say in the movie is like, you're not going to turn my courtroom into like a clown house or whatever he says.
Yeah.
So is that Martin Scorsese
Maybe
saying something about cinema?
Yeah. And there's the bit where the judge's mum comes in and makes everyone spaghetti. I love that scene.
Yeah, and Eminem comes in and starts rapping about it. Palms are sweaty.
From all the car bombs.
Carbonara.
From all the carbonara. There's the carbonara bomb.
What else have I got written down? I've got some stuff.
I was waiting for that, final scene where it's, Fleck, you got a visitor. By the way, you got any jokes for us? And then they go down the corridor. And I just imagine in my head that, in the end, major spoiler, Arthur Fleck gets stabbed up, doesn't he? And then he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really like the idea that universe's Batman is waiting in the waiting room, just like,
yeah.
Oh, I really need some help with Mr. Freeze. What is taking him so long? I'm Batman.
You know how to defeat Mr. Freeze, right?
Go on.
Just get some antifreeze from the local petrol station.
Yeah.
That'll do it. That's just Batman just waiting there with his little can of antifreeze. Honestly, I thought Batman was going to make an appearance.
I'm so happy he didn't.
Either at the bomb sequence or at the end when he...
That's a twist. I'm Batman, and I'm here to get you out of here.
Imagine. But it was actually Adam West's Batman, because this was set in the 70s or 80s or something like that.
Yeah. So he's slightly over the hill, bit podgy.
Yep. Who was Batman back? Oh, no, that would be Michael Keaton, wouldn't it?
Late 80s, early 90s,
Late 80s, yeah. Anyway, did you also
that would have been horrible, wouldn't it? Imagine, and it's just him, and he goes, let's get nuts. Oh, would have been horrible.
And what he's talking about is making soup. Yeah. So he just wants to...
he wants to make nut soup. But Batman, that's not how you make minestrone. Shut up, Danny Dyer.
Did you... Danny Dyer plays...
Get back to the East End with you.
Yeah, he's young... what's his face? Alfred. So I have a question for you. Did you catch the Easter egg that they had right at the very end after
the really distracting Easter egg, where it was like, I kind of want to be focusing on the thing that's in focus.
Yeah.
But there's a guy in the background turning himself into the Joker.
Gave himself a Glasgow smile, is what they call it, which is cutting his lips to make himself look a bit like... And I just think, surely... If this is supposed to be alluding to Heath Ledger's Joker, because he's the only one who has that particular smile, right?
Mm.
Are they saying that this is a prequel to that, or are they just saying that this has inspired other Jokers to do a similar thing? Or it's not that deep?
I am choosing to say the second.
Okay, sure.
Because I don't need this. I don't need this to be the same universe, so it's good.
Todd Phillips has come out saying that he doesn't want to do anymore. So I think this is the end of it.
It's kind of difficult.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they decided to make a third one. Because money. But I don't think this movie has made a lot of money back.
Hasn't opened very well.
No.
But that's what everyone's obsessed over, the box office receipts. I thought it would be interesting. I sort of got partway through the film and I thought, wouldn't it have been great That's a bit big-headed of me. Wouldn't it have been interesting to just recast the entire movie and just have the entire first movie be a figment of his imagination? But then you'd have to get rid of Joaquin Phoenix and everyone else.
There was a moment where I thought every time they mentioned the fact that they made a TV movie out of
Yes. Yeah.
I thought the first movie was the TV movie or something like that. Because that would have been a little bit of a twist, wouldn't it?
Because then, I mean, there are large portions of the first movie and bits of this second movie where the rug gets pulled out from under you. Oh, actually, we as in the movie has been lying to you this entire time.
Yeah.
But then then
classic Joker.
Classic.
And there's hijinks.
Classic prankster. I got you, Zach Braff.
This kid's not really a kid who destroyed your car.
He's the Joker.
He's a grown man.
Pulls the mask off and suddenly he's 6 feet tall and wearing a purple suit. Mr. Joker.
Zoinks!
I'd have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for the cast of Scrubs.
I've got a question, completely unrelated. I've got a question for you. At one point, did you feel like Harley Quinn was potentially a figment of his imagination? Because there are times where I thought, this doesn't line up. Like, why in the hell would they let Harley Quinn into the same cell as him? Did he imagine that? Or was she actually there?
I think she did. Yeah.
Well, they mentioned it earlier on where Arthur Fleck, he sometimes fantasizes about like made up scenarios with other women, and that happened in the first movie, right?
Yeah, so maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, it was never really clear.
Yeah, I suppose that I don't think her as a whole character was completely imagined, but yeah, that's definite. I never thought that, but that's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, because at one point, like I was watching it with my partner, and then she says, "Isn't Harley Quinn supposed to be Joker's therapist in the original source material? So what if it zooms out and then suddenly she was never really there? He just has this kind of connection in his brain, fantasized about this perfect woman, and then I noticed like a lot of the times no one was reacting to whatever Harley Quinn was doing. Like, for instance, she set a whole piano on fire and no one thought to have a look and see who is this mental patient going back there and smoking a cigarette and throwing the lit cigarette packet into the piano and causing the big flame. Surely somebody would have been like, is the security that bad? They didn't notice that?
Yeah, but then you'd have who did set it alight?
But who knows?
Was it because they left the piano plugged in charging and there was a faulty charger on the big piano? That's how pianos work, right? I'm not a musician.
You know when they were doing the little prison escape sequence where Joker and Harley was running away? I thought that was fun. That was a bit of a fun sequence.
I kind of liked the frustration that you felt because I thought this at the time when they were trying to get out, that they weren't trying to get out. They were just greeting their fans when they were jumping around,
weren't they?
Yeah.
They were playing silly buggers.
Having a great old time.
I think that's about all we can say about the movie. It was definitely a movie, wasn't it?
Yes.
Why don't we do a quick pitch right here?
Quick joke pitch.
Right here. Okay.
There's no soup for you. I'm the Joker.
There's got to be something that sounds like Folie that's food related, right?
Folie.
There must be some sort of cooking technique.
Brolly, no, keeping you out of the rain. Trolley. Maybe he's carrying food on a trolley. Maybe the Joker is a plane attendant.
Joker, trolley of soup.
Yeah, trolley of soup. So he's walking down the plane aisle, elbows in, because he doesn't want to hit the customers. And he's like,
this is like a self-contained movie. The whole movie set on the plane.
Yes.
And
it's like Die Hard, but set on a Joker. So he's walking around, and they all think, oh, it's the typical attendant with clown makeup on their face. We've all seen it. And they're going to give me some peanuts. And then you open the peanuts, but inside the bag is soup. And he's like, ha, gotcha. I'm the Joker. You didn't look at my name tag. It says, I gotcha.
On the plane.
Yeah.
On the plane. Michael Keaton's Batman's there.
Yeah.
And as Joker's going down the aisle, Michael Keaton goes, "Got any nuts?" And the Joker goes, "Yeah, sure." Opens up, bam,
Bam! It's soup.
I said, "Oh, it's really hot. This is my favorite shirt."
Is it just in first class? It's just all the different Bruce Waynes.
Yeah.
There's no more room for anyone else.
Who have we got? We've got Michael Keaton.
We've got Michael Keaton, we've got Adam West, we've got Christian Bale.
We've got the Bale, yeah.
We've got Ben Affleck, who's got like 2 seats to himself because he's so big.
And a spare tire that he carries around. Who else? There's Robert Pattinson's Batman. Which have you seen? Did you ever watch that one?
No, I didn't.
No.
I don't know because I don't.
You weren't very interested, were you?
I don't have access to the Max. At the time when it came out, I just thought another Batman.
It's not bad. It's very Seven. It was like Seven.
Yeah,
or like some sort of detective movie.
So he's done Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's covered in soup. So then he goes, he pushes the trolley to Robert Pattinson. He's like, "What's in the bag? What's in the bag?" And it's soup.
It's soup. What does Adam West say? Duh. You go, what's in?
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
And he does that dance. when the soup gets thrown on him, he's just like his hands are everywhere.
Even Joker's like, "I'm not sure about this guy. He's a little bit weird. I don't like him. Keep him away from me." Adam West, no.
Joke
is Robin like back in?
He's in the toilet.
Economy? He's in economy class.
Oh yeah. So all the Batmen are in the first class.
Yeah.
And all the secondary characters are in economy.
Adam West's Robin is like in economy class, and he's like, he's just steaming. He's so annoyed.
Are all the different flight attendants all different Jokers then?
Oh God. Yeah. Let's hope.
You've got Cesar Romero. You've got with his like mustache.
Yeah, nice
over.
mustache. Yeah.
Gosh. No, we don't. No.
Who else you got? Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger.
They didn't get Jared Leto on the plane. He was.
No, there's who? No, that's it. There aren't any more Jokers. No, there's just Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero, Heath Ledger, and Joaquin Phoenix. That's it. There aren't any other. Yeah. To say that there would be other Jokers, Leslie, that would be wrong. That would be foolhardy. There are no other Jokers.
There is another one though. There's the one from there was that series called Gotham, right?
Oh yeah.
There was that chap who was in it. That was the Joker, but I never watched Gotham, so I don't know if it was any good.
I remember actually being an extra in a movie with that guy.
Oh yeah, how was he? Yeah, we'll save it for off camera.
Yeah,
save it for off camera.
Yeah, I won't say no more.
Okay, so Joker.
There was a great bit though where he made me and my mate at the time. He just stitched us up. He made us look like right idiots. So there's a scene where he's supposed to. We're all in an auditorium.
Yeah,
and his character is supposed to get up and like run down the stairs, but he's 2 seats in. We're blocking his way to the aisle. So he tells us before the take, like, "Guys, if you can do me a favor, because I've got to get from here to my mark by the time so and so says this line. So when you need to get up, could you get up like really, really quickly?" So we're like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. You know, we're just extras. We do what we're told." So they go action, the scene starts playing, and then the moment where everyone has to stand up and act shocked happens. So we bolt up. It's like a sprint start at the Olympics. We move out of the way. And this guy takes the longest time. He's like just woken up from a nap. He's like, yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there soon. And then it was the official clip that was sent out of the film, like a trailer or like promotional material. And it's got me and my mate just stitched up, looking like idiots.
He punked you.
He
pranked you.
He Zach Braffed us.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there are only 4 Jokers.
What I'm saying is he's the perfect Joker.
Okay.
He got us good.
Oh, so that
was his audition. Some Hollywood producers were on set at the time, and they saw him do that, and they were like, "Yeah, he's the Joker." Or Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill.
He did voiceover.
Just the voice.
So maybe he could be the attendant. Yeah.
It'll be like a what's it called? A Mary Poppins scenario where it's half live action, half animated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you
very
meant
much
like
a
Mark
Rabbit.
Hamill with an umbrella. But yeah, that
Yeah.
your way makes more sense.
No. Well, maybe he jumps out of the plane at one point and with an umbrella. And,
Yeah, and because he's an
like,
animated character, it's
be fine.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the movie ends with a carpet bomb goes off on the side of the plane.
Okay. A soup
And
bomb.
all the soup bomb, yeah. All the soup gets sucked out.
Yeah.
You know, you
Oh,
see a
that's just
shot.
a gross image.
You see a shot of the plane going down with soup just flying out. And who's there
Like,
to save the
is
day?
that smoke? No, it's steam. The soup is still hot.
I think in this scenario, all the Batmen and all the Jokers have to band together because there's a bigger
soup's
threat
gone.
at hand. Yeah, the soup's gone.
But
and the plane's
also
going down.
General Zod. But also Superman's evil now.
Yeah. Michael Shannon's.
No! Oh, the minestrone. We don't have any more split peas. How do you make split peas? Do you just take peas and split them in half? I don't know. I'm the Joker. I'm not a
Wait,
soup guy.
General
Also, I
Zod's
think
from Superman, is he not?
I think Superman has
Yeah.
joined forces with Zod as well. But we need to split these peas.
The chef in the kitchen is Superman, but it's spelled soup.
But he spilt the soup, and it's got
it's-
kryptonite in.
Yeah, the S is for soup.
The soup.
Soup man.
Do we have a really lame bit of the movie where it's like, what's our in-flight meal? It's soup, man.
Looks directly at the camera and the credits roll.
But General Zod is laying siege because the soup has got kryptonite in. The Joker put kryptonite in the soup.
Yeah.
So he goes to try some. He's like, oh, a little spicy. Oh, my powers, they're gone.
I should have known for the fact that the
should have
soup was
known.
pea green. The signs were there all along. Sorry. I think that's about it, right?
also, this giant tub of kryptonite that you checked in. You said it was a check-in bag. Really, it was a tub of kryptonite.
It was just glowing. Like
It was your
you could
carry-on
see-
luggage. Yeah, Joker, why is your carry-on luggage glowing? I'll never tell.
Is there a thing we can do about the fact that Joker has green hair? And maybe his hair's made of kryptonite as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joker just like, I've recovered from your soup prank, Joker. I'm now Superman, not just Superman. And Joker just rubs his hair on his chest. He's like, what are you doing, Joker? This isn't gonna my powers again. Because Superman's an idiot.
And at the end, there's a big question mark. The end question mark, but then the question mark is like the Riddler's question mark.
And then underneath it just says yes.
Yes.
And Batman's like, good thing I'm the world's greatest detective. Superman, I think those giant tubs that say kryptonite had kryptonite in them. And Superman's like, by golly, Batman, you're smart.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm going to go lie down now. Why am I even flying in this plane? I can fly.
I'm just the soup chef.
I'm not the pilot. The pilot is this guy. And it's Jared Leto.
No, he's not in this movie.
No, I'm sorry. I was weak. It's Jared Leto as Morbius.
He's somewhere else doing Tron or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
That's our movie.
Joker, Trolley of Soup,
Yeah.
featuring Superman. The end.
As played by Henry Cavill
As played by all of them.
or Dustin Hoffman.
Uh,
Henry Cavill, when he's like powerful, he's like, you got to get those big muscles to carry the big soup out because it's for everyone on the plane, isn't it? There's a lot of soup.
uh-huh.
And then when Joker kryptonites him, he just turns into Dustin Hoffman.
Sure. Is there another version where he's also Clark Kent, and that's played by a different actor?
Oh, yeah. Who could we get? Guy who wears glasses. Who wears glasses all the time? Jack Nicholson.
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, yeah. Takes the glasses off, Henry Cavill again.
Yeah.
It's like the Joker pranking Zach Braff when he takes the mask off. He's suddenly 6 feet tall. And
Have you seen that remake of a movie called Taxi, where Queen Latifah is doing some sort of like bike BMX parkour
okay,
at the beginning, and then it's clearly not her.
oh okay.
It was just some stud double, and then takes off the helmet as Queen Latifah.
I love it when they do that, though. I love it.
Yeah.
I also, one of my favorites is when someone does a flip and then they cut to a different shot and they just do like the they do the landing part and then it's their face.
And if you go frame by frame, you can see his wigs.
And
like, falling off a little bit.
they've spritzed them to make them look sweaty. Oh, I've just done a big workout.
There's this infamous scene from Terminator 2 where in the original shot of Arnold Schwarzenegger on a bike dropping off the bridge, and the big truck from the T-1000 comes. You can see it's just a guy with an Arnold Schwarzenegger mask on.
Oh, okay.
And it's not even him.
With like the price tag still on it.
It's actually William Shatner's one just turned inside out. No, it's the Halloween mask turned inside out, and then it becomes Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This movie is confusing. Now we've got Michael Myers, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, on a bike.
We're going to invert.
And the bike is played by William Shatner.
I think we should wrap it there because we could just keep going with this.
We could.
Yeah. Anyway, good episode.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
Can't wait for the thumbnail with Superman. I'm going to stop it there. Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.